The City of Romulus Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting agenda for Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 will come to order. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Item 2 on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Lloyd? Here. Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Frederick?
Here.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
And Chandler is present. Item 3 is approval of the agenda for this evening.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Support.
We have a motion to approve the agenda by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Morris. We'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. The agenda has been approved for this evening. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting held on December the 6th, 2023.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Lloyd, to approve the minutes of the meeting held on December 6th, 2023. Take a roll call vote. Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. The minutes have been approved for that meeting. Item 5 is listed as old business. Do we have any old business? We'll just pass on old business. Item 6 is new business. I think we've got some new business. The first one is, on A, is for BZA 2023-020 for Sheets. The location is 33380 Wick Road. The parcel ID is 80039-99-0001-707. And the request, they are requesting the following variances from Chapter 48, Signs, Section 48-7, specific requirements by type of sign in the regional center district as follows. A, to allow an increase in the maximum number of pole signs allowed from 2 to 3 signs. B is for sign A, and that's to allow an increase in the maximum allowable sign height from 20 feet to 100 feet. Number 2 is to allow an increase in the maximum allowable square footage per face side from 64 square feet per side to 297.25 square feet per side. Number 3 is to allow an increase in the changeable copy area from 30 square feet to 192 square feet. That was for sign A. Sign B is, the first thing is to allow an increase in the maximum allowable height from 20 feet to 24 feet, and to allow an increase in the maximum allowable square footage per face side from 64 square feet per side to 87.62 square feet per side. And on item D is for sign C, is to allow an increase in the maximum allowable height from 20 feet to 24 feet, and to allow an increase in maximum allowable square footage per face side from 64 square feet per side to 87.62 square feet per side. That project is for a service center including restaurant, convenience store, and fuel station, including high-flow diesel and drive-through. The petitioners is Johnny Sweeney, North Point, property owner, David Bruckelmeyer, Sheets applicant, and Becky Klein, PEA engineer. Would those petitioners come forward and tell us about your project and these requests?
Good evening, members of the BZA. Again, my name is David Bruckelmeyer with Sheets. With me tonight, I have Becky Klein with PEA Group, as well as a couple of members of our real estate team, and Johnny Sweeney with North Point Development. Thank you for having us here tonight. We'd like to take you through just a couple of slides. I think a few of you have seen, a little bit about Sheets, and I'd like you to take you through just a little bit of who we are and what we do. So we're a family-run, family-operated fuel station, convenience store, and restaurant chain out of central Pennsylvania. We were started in 1952, and we've held true to a lot of our roots. We started as a carry-out deli and a convenience store with grocery, and we've really expanded into what we are today, which is still a convenience store or restaurant. And in the 1970s, we added fuel, and so we hold true to all those items today. Just to give you a couple of quick pictures, because they're worth 1,000 words, this is one of our locations that's prototypical. This is really similar to what the site at Wick and Vining is going to look like from the exterior facade. And this is very similar to what our canopy will look like out in front on Wick and Vining. And then just a quick glimpse inside. We have interior seating for 30 people. We are very restaurant focused. We aim to be a premium one-stop shop with any kind of offering that you can imagine from a convenience store, including a fresh burger, a rice bowl, any kind of brand of soft drink that you may want, fresh coffee, fresh bakery items, things of that nature. That's just another look at the interior seating area. What makes us unique? Oh, sorry, I'll go back. Was that enough time to look at that?
I'm sorry?
I thought you said, hold on, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, I didn't. I was looking at these donuts.
That does sound great. So what really makes us unique? I think what really makes us unique is that we are not franchised. It's family-run, family-operated, and the family is really involved on the day-to-day operations of the business. They're involved in all the details of what's going on, and that's why our brand is so consistent throughout our platform. So that's something that's really unique. A lot of restaurants, fuel stations franchise, and they have all kinds of differences and a level of inconsistency. That's something that really sets us apart. In addition to that, all of our offering, including breakfast sandwiches and things of that nature, are available 24/7, 365 for people on the go, first responders, anybody headed to work. So that's something that really sets us apart. The last thing I would say is our people. Our employees are incredible. They go above and beyond every day, and that just really shows in our operation and how we do things, how we do business, and how our stores look. In addition to all that, we like to highlight some of the things we do in the community. So every year we do Sheets for the Kids. Each store gets assigned 16 kids that are underprivileged, and they need some help at Christmas time to have a good Christmas. And each store goes out, shops, and wraps, and delivers all the presents for these kids, and just provides a really nice, a nice Christmas for a family in need. And that's just one of the ways. Obviously we support Special Olympics and Feeding America, and every year we donate about 1 million pounds of food. So with that said, that's just a little bit about Sheets. Unless you have any questions about who we are or our brand, I'm going to turn it over to Becky, and we'll just discuss the site a little bit.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Becky Klein. I'm with PEA Group. I'm the civil engineer on this project. So just to talk about the site a little bit, it is located at the southwest corner of Wick and Vining. Oh, there we go. Wrong way. Oh, there we go. Sorry. So this is a layout of our site plan, and I have highlighted on here the locations of the planned signage. So just a little background, this corner lot was conceived specifically to be it needed to be a fuel center. That's part of the master plan for the overall multi-use industrial and commercial development that's going on in this whole quadrant of the city. So need to be there to supply fuel for not only passenger vehicles, but for large trucks. And it's conceived as not only supporting local traffic, but freeway-borne traffic as well. So towards that end, we need to be scaled appropriately to work with passersby both on the freeway and the local roads. And that's really the reason we're looking for a variance here on our signage. So we're looking at 3 pylon signs. You can see them located here. 2 of them are really identical in size, shape, and configuration. Those are our pole signs. And the third one is the large sign, referred to as the sky sign, that's going in at the southwest corner. So the 2 pole signs, we would like to have them be 24 feet tall, with a face area of a little over 87 square feet and movable copy area of about 53 square feet. The sky sign, that one we would like to have it at 100 feet so that it's easily visible from the freeway. And again, with a proportionately large face area of 297 square feet and movable copy at 192 square feet. We have received our approval from FAA for the locations and sizes of all 3 of these signs. Here is just a close-up look at what we're proposing to place on the site in terms of signage. This is a look at one of our pole signs, and then you can see how it's configured with the Sheetz logo at the top, an always open panel board, and then what's really a standard pricer for gas stations. Again, this particular sign, we're asking for a 4-foot additional variance in height, and then allowing a slightly larger face area of 87.62 feet instead of 64. If you look at the sky sign, this is a single pole sign. Again, this is 100 feet tall. This simply just has a Sheetz logo and then a large 2-panel pricer on it. Again, this one is looking for 100 feet instead of 20 feet, and then allowing 297 square feet for the face instead of 64 feet, and then commensurate changeable copy area of 192 feet rather than the allowed 30. So our reasoning for this is that we're aiming at being visible from a distance and from the freeway. So it's a larger parcel, 5.6 acres. The buildings are actually set back fairly far from the roadways compared to other businesses in the region. We're putting in a considerable amount of landscaping and berming around the site, which we're gonna serve to partially conceal the building. So really having these signs be large and visible are gonna be very important to bring people to our site. Our item 2, we're concerned about safety, of course. We want people to be able to make a decision in a timely manner and make their maneuvers in plenty of time to get over safely, take the exit, make the turn, slow down, and turn into the driveway. If you have smaller signage, you have a lot more incidences of people hitting the brakes, moving over quickly, and of course that leads to potential accidents. And then finally, under item 7, we feel like this is appropriate in scale because the site is larger, the buildings are set back, and we think the scale is in keeping with the use of the site as well as the overall size of the site. So allowing these requested variances will increase the visibility of the site to passing motorists on local and freeways. Safety will be improved by allowing adequate time for motorists to make traffic maneuvers to visit the site safely. And increased sign quantities and sizes we feel are appropriate given the scale of this particular development. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, or if you have any specific questions on Sheetz, David would be happy to step up and answer those.
I think at this time, we'll close that portion out and we'll open this up, open it up to the public for questions or comments, and then we'll go to the board members. Notifications of tonight's public hearing were sent out. First-class mail per state requirement, and an affidavit of mailing is on file. Now, if there's anybody in the public here who would like to speak on this project, come up to the podium, give us your name, and speak directly into the microphone if you would.
Good evening, Don Madrinsky, 9515 Michael Drive. I've lived in the subdivision adjacent to that area for well over 50 years. We have street signs along 94, and we're constantly getting blares of light from those signs being up, and they're nowhere near the 100 feet. So 100 feet in the air of a sign over there, I think is a little too high. It's gonna glare light back into the subdivisions. So the other signs I don't seem to have an issue with. That one is just, I think, a little too high, in my opinion, so.
Oh, okay. right,
That's
thank-
all I have to say.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you care to comment on that? As far as the lighting goes?
Yeah, we understand your concerns. Something we have done is we've angled the sky sign away from that subdivision towards the road a little bit, towards the interstate, to be clear. So it's angled away from the subdivision. That's for two reasons. Number one, so it's not pointing straight at you. It would be pointed straight at the interstate. So we've tried to angle it in that manner so that it's not directly facing the residents in that area.
Aren't these digital sign, that 100-foot, isn't that a digital sign, electronic? It's not, doesn't have floodlights shining up at it, does it?
There will be no floodlights. It will be all internally illuminated, and then the pricer sign would be LED.
Okay.
And so it wouldn't have lights shining out and up onto it. It would be emanating from the sign.
Right.
Is it the brightness adjustable then? So if there seems to be a problem with the brightness, is it adjustable? Just that area, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I do not know the answer. I know you can do all kinds of lighting adjustments inside of these kinds of signs. I am not a sign expert as far as construction of the sign, so.
All right, thank you. Anybody else care to comment on that or questions? If not, we'll open this, at this time, we'll open up to the board members for questions or comments.
I do have a question, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Lloyd?
So does that mean that the readable sides of the sign are gonna face south and north? Is that accurate? If it's facing towards 94, angled towards 94, does that mean that they face north and south?
It would be
Or is it
southeast,
southeast?
is really where we're trying to capture the vehicle traffic from the interstate.
Mr. Jones?
Okay, if it's facing southeast, that means more or less it's picking up the westbound, for the westbound traffic.
Correct, yes.
But what about the eastbound traffic? Are you,
With the
because
angle,
since the subdivision is west of it, if you got westbound traffic and it's facing southeast,
we're really focusing on the westbound traffic, I believe. Obviously, it's right off the interstate. It's gonna be the most advantageous for people
Where you get
coming
off.
up to our site. So we're focusing on that southeast facing sign. So you're asking about eastbound traffic?
yes. Because if you got a sign for the traffic to have enough time to get over, I'm assuming you want to get traffic, you don't care whether they come in westbound or eastbound.
We're-
So
we're-
if it's facing southeast, it's more or less facing, you're more or less gearing to the westbound traffic coming out of the,
Correct. Becky, do you want to speak on this?
Yeah, so actually, we're talking about two different signs. I can probably just back it up here a little bit. Whoops, not too far. So if you look at the sky sign in the corner, down there at the lower left, that one would be angled, as David said, to the southeast, aimed at the freeway traffic. Once the traffic is on the local roads, our other pole signs would probably be the signs they'd be looking at. So the pole sign there along Wick Road is oriented perpendicular to Wick Road. So whether you're coming in from the east or the west, you'd have a face of that sign right in your eye line so that you'd see what the fuel prices are at the gas station that day. Similarly, if you're traveling north or south on Vining Road, the pole sign that's there along that road would be perpendicular to that traffic pattern. So you'd have a face of the sign telling you what the prices were depending, no matter what direction of travel you were on. Does that make sense?
So I think if the outward facing side is southeast, the other side is actually facing the Sheetz gas station, right? You can, see it's really angled back towards the gas
Are they
station.
two-sided signs or just one side?
Is it just,
3 signs.
I mean, three signs,
Three
but,
signs.
but it's only one side.
The pole signs are double-sided on both sides.
double-sided, with the second side on.
yeah,
Probably be flanked out on the back, because we don't want it to face northwest.
oh, fair, okay.
So,
There's no advantage to facing northwest for us, so I believe we'd be putting on like a blank face on the back.
Okay,
Because we're not trying to capture traffic northwest, we're trying to focus on the southeast side.
Was there ever any thought of having a double-sided sign with 100-foot high? Yeah.
I don't believe there was.
That's expensive.
No, this is a single side.
So it's
100 foot,
single
it's just
sided.
one side.
That's what I'm hearing.
They're basically looking for the people going west. And then the
So
local
freeway.
traffic will
Yeah, but
be,
it's only a double side.
Yeah, nothing been there. So that'd be the
It
sign.
should just face
Yeah, but if it
southeast.
was this way.
We have no reason to
this
face
direction
northwest.
and that direction.
Then it would be good facing towards the sun.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that make sense? So we're going to face the sign southeast.
so that's,
yeah.
that particular sign is just gonna be a one-sided sign,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that is going to be a one-sided sign, yes.
okay. So it won't be facing the subdivision at all.
No. I don't think we have an intent to face the subdivision at all.
Okay.
Do you know what the average height of the other signs on the freeway are, like the large poster signs?
The guidance, not like freeway guidance signs.
What would be maybe the average height of the signs alongside the, and we've got a lot of those,
Billboards.
the billboard signs.
A billboard is typically no less than 50 feet
Yeah,
to the
I
top.
think we
I think
had
he's
some
referring
that
to-
were like 65 or
They're
something.
higher than that.
Yeah, 60, no less than 50.
Yeah. So yours would be the highest, one of the highest in
be.
our area.
We specifically designed the height of the sign because we anticipate some development in front of it. Specifically, this area has a lot of industrial warehouses.
yeah.
So we designed the height of the sign specifically because we anticipate, a 50-foot building to be setting in front of it. So we didn't want to build a sign and then have it covered up by a building
Oh, right.
with a perspective from the road. And the
Yeah.
road, obviously, the grade drops down there, so the reason we went through we
I was just
wanted to
curious.
expend the 100-foot sign. is
Make this-
I can see why you needed FAA approval, or have them give you the okay of those signs, all three of them.
Yes.
I can't see there would be any concern on the 24-foot ones, but maybe the 100-foot, I can see where you'd need the FAA involved in that.
Yep, that's why we went.
Yep.
We made sure it was okay first.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Morris?
since I have a background in these
In
kind
gas
of things.
business?
In the gas business, and I used to work for Total Petroleum, and I built about 25 truck stops around Michigan. And this looks like a beautiful place, and that one sign, we used to, that's nice. We used to just put up a logo sign 100 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And so, but this is, like I said, and the way lighting is now, it's not blasting out, it's tilted down, and, but this is a beautiful place. My goodness.
It's gonna be nice.
Beautiful.
Any other questions or comments on any of this?
Just a comment to the chair, is the FAA in the report didn't seem concerned about over-illumination.
Yeah.
No, they were not,
No.
and we provided them a full set of drawings and renderings, so they knew exactly. It wasn't like I just submitted on paper, hey, this is gonna be a 100-foot structure. They got the renderings, and they knew what it was going
They're
to
not
be
gonna let
very
you flare
specifically.
out there. They're just not gonna let you do
So
it.
they took that into consideration, yeah.
I think these new electronic digital signs are great. You know, they're not the obnoxious type signs with the flashing floodlights and everything.
Right.
I noticed on your picture of the 100-foot high sign, it's got the price of gas on there. Is that gonna stay the same?
Hope it goes down.
Good luck.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw that in. One other, I looked over the drawing and everything, and you've got diesel pumps and everything. I hate to say this, but you're gonna have any charging stations there for EV vehicles?
At the moment, we cannot promise that, but Sheets is developing an in-house EV charging platform that we would own. When some of that technology gets released publicly,
Yeah.
we would be able to take advantage of that, and we're poised and ready.
I'm hoping you don't need them. That's my opinion.
You'll need them.
Any other questions or comments? We've got 3 different signs to approve here. Can we do this all in one
Yeah, I think we
motion?
just say-
For the-
There's 3 pole signs, isn't it?
It's 3 pole signs and then the variance from 2 signs to 3 signs on the lot.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
She must not have been worried about it because the way they wrote it up at the recommendation, it didn't break it all down.
Yeah.
It just said 3 pole
Well,
signs.
let's use
Yeah.
that for a guideline then. Let's- Oh, okay. We could do that in one motion, I would think.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Morris,
I move we approve BZA -2023-20 Sheets at 33380 Wick Road for the installation of 3 pole signs conditioned upon the following. Permits must be applied for, approved, and received from the building department, and all inspections must be approved.
Second.
okay, we have a motion by Mr. Morris, and his motion is to approve the various requests for BZA 2023-020 for Sheets. That's at 33380 Wick Road. And his motion is that the permits must be applied for, approved, and received from the building department, and all inspections must be improved. And that motion was seconded by Mr. Frederick. At this time, we'll take a roll call vote on that motion. Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Your various requests for those signs have been approved. Looking forward to seeing it done. Okay, where we at here? All right. The next item on our agenda is for BZA 2024-001, and it's for Romulus Wayne Oil Change. Location is 9899 Wayne Road, and the parcel ID is 80-062-99-0024-000. And the requesting is for following variances from section 7.04A, Schedule of Regulations of the Romulus zoning ordinance. And the first one is to reduce the required front yard building setback from 40 feet to 25.5 feet, and to allow encroachment of the parking lot and dumpster into the 20-foot required rear yard setback adjacent to residential. And the project is a tire and oil change shop. And the petitioner is Abbas Dolani, property owner, and Monir Alabwa, architect. Is that who's present?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All right.
am here now, and give all of these drawings, the site plans for this project.
Okay. Tell us about your project. And would you please speak, I know you're tall, you can't hardly reach the microphone, but if you could speak into that. please.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yep, better.
So yes, the new building that we're proposing here, it's gonna be on the same location of the existing building, vacant building right now. And the, yeah, oh, it will be demolished? Yeah, it's gonna be on the same footprints of the existing building used to be there. And, the existing building doesn't have the front yard, required front yard, which is the 40 feet. And the second thing is, as you see here, this is for an oil change. Such a use of a building or a business, it's, needs a rectangular shaped building. And the property, actually, it's a square, so 140 by 140. I mean, we didn't oriented the building, for north, is it north? Yeah, north, south, because of the circulation inside, in the side, the vehicle circulation. And the second thing is the parking spaces, it requires 20 feet from a residential area. We propose that we have the dumpster and the 3 parking spaces there because of the lack of the parking spaces will be if we added the 20 feet. And that will not, be sufficient for the parking spaces, not for the number of the parking spaces required. And also there is an existing screen wall, masonry wall between the parking spaces and the residential to the west side. So the most issue that we faced here is the property shape. It's a square. It's not like the McDonald's, it's about 100 feet or 200 feet. It's have a rectangle, it has a nice depth. And also the Taco Bell across the street, it has the needed depth to do the, to comply with the ordinance for the front yard setbacks and the rear yard setbacks for the parking space. I hope you understand the issue here. Also, the planning department, they want to close one of the approaches that already exist on Wayne Road. By that, I mean, when you orient that building facing this way, it will be very difficult for vehicles, to circulate in the site. These are like the reasons that makes this shape of this building.
Okay. All right.
If you have any questions?
I'm sure we'll have some questions and comments for you. All right, well, we'll close that portion, and notifications of tonight's public hearing were sent out first-class mail per the state requirement, and an affidavit of mailing was on file. And at this time, we'll open this portion up to the public for questions or comments regarding this petition. Come on up to the microphone.
I Again, thank you for letting me speak. Don Madrinsky, 9515 Michael Drive. I have a few issues with this request. The corner isn't the best place to shrink things down, move things closer to the road. As you see, we already have a crosswalk that's not straight to cross the road to the high school. If we bring the building closer to the road, we have opportunity for pedestrians crossing the road, not getting a clear sight. And then if you actually go to the opposite side where the existing gas station is, the offset of all the roads doesn't even allow us to put a crosswalk in that area. So everybody that wants to cross has to go over to the parcel that they're wanting to build on. So we're highly congesting that area. And if we decide we need to expand the road, if we bring their asset closer to the road, if we add another lane or so, will that now be too close to the road and they'll have to tear down or come up with some special ordinance again saying that it's okay to be 5 feet off the main road? And another concern is, like they said, the double driveways there. Right now, we're restricted to left turn if you're heading east on Wayne Road. During school hours and certain periods before and after school, there's no left turn onto Michelle Drive. So this would also restrict them from getting customers into their side if they were going to turn left into their facility because of the restriction of the time, so school buses and everything can turn left into the school. Then, since we're lowering the amount of parking on what we would allow them to do with this company, or if we allow this, will they have their extra parking now on Michelle Boulevard and would restrict right turn onto Wayne Road? As of right now, there is no parking signs placed on the boulevard there on Michelle. So they could actually park on left side and right side if they don't have enough parking spots inside their facility. So that could congest the area, and during school hours and everything, that would be an issue, in my opinion.
I believe, if I understand this right, the new building will be in the same spot as the old building. So, and roughly, I don't know if it's the same size, but it's probably,
It's the same size and it's the same setback as the building that
Yeah.
was there.
so that, as far as that positioning of that building there, won't be no different than the old one that was there. And I believe one of those driveways is gonna be eliminated, the one closest to Michelle. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, the southern approach on Wayne Road will be closed, and then the other one will be turn right in only, and then there'll be a no left turn coming out onto Michelle as well for circulation purposes.
I'm not sure, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't think parking is allowed on Michelle Drive there, and that, the boulevard type. I don't think there's
There is no
signs.
posting there.
Pardon?
There is no posting on either side of the boulevard, no parking.
Yeah,
So-
there probably should be.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody parked there.
No.
I don't believe you can.
The only thing I saw there was a semi-truck here about a few days ago. Well, thank you for your input. Anybody else would care to speak on it? Come on.
Robin Madrinsky, 9515 Michael Drive. The safety issue comes from the school and the congestion. So right now, that's already a very busy corner. I know you speak of the business that was already there, but it was a party store. It was just a convenience store. This is oil change. It's gonna bring in more traffic. So now you have, say you have 5 people sitting and waiting for an oil change. Where are they gonna sit and wait for an oil change?
They have a waiting room. They're gonna have a waiting
Well,
room.
where are they gonna park? They're only talking how many parking
There,
spots?
this is gonna, there, I understand that there's gonna be appointment only. It's not the average,
And then their tires. So they have this very small
Same-
building
same thing.
that they're gonna be doing tire changes and oil changes. Where are they gonna store their old tires before they're disposed
it's all
of?
been planned. There won't be none of it outside.
And you're gonna guarantee that?
That's the
I
order.
mean,
What can you
we've been told a
guarantee?
whole lot of things
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Correct, I understand the
It won't be
ordinances.
anything like the one at Ecorse and Wayne.
And that's another issue. We already have that type of business a quarter mile either direction. You can go right, you have oil change at Moe's, and you also have tire at Moe's. And if you go the opposite direction, you can also get your tires done on the corner of Ecorse and Wayne Road. So there is no need for this business. I'm not saying anything bad against it. I'm just saying, let's put this business on a proper lot. They can go on a proper fitting lot. There is no reason to have a variance. Again, when you look at the crosswalks and you look at the way it sets, where does the 20-foot variance come from? Does it come from the edge of the road? Or where does that 20-foot variance start? Is it in the center of the road? Where is the line drawn? How close to the road? It's gonna be just what it was before? Have you ever went out and looked at that? When you're sitting and you're pulling out of that subdivision, the light is back behind it. So now you have an obstructed view, or possibly have an obstructed view of the traffic coming. So now you have not only school kids that cross there, you also have the busing that is trying to go through there. You have Taco Bell there, you have McDonald's there, you have all of these high-traffic businesses that are already at that corner, and they can't even turn left there because of it, because of the way they come out. We don't need another high-traffic, a high business thing there. It doesn't need to be there. There's no call for it.
What, the way I understand it, their business is gonna be by scheduling and by appointment only.
Well,
other
the
words,
way
if you want an
oil
oil
change
change-
and a quick oil change comes, you pull up there and you wait. Like I said, we have that already down the street. It's the same thing. You pull up and you wait. You don't have to call and make an appointment.
Where's that one at?
Right there on the corner of Goddard and Wayne.
Got it?
Correct.
Oh,
One
Next-
quarter mile down.
Next
the
to
road.
Subway?
That's on his-
Yes, it is
Oh,
connected
okay.
to the subway,
That's
yes.
different setup altogether.
Different area.
Different area.
But can you not get the same thing done there?
You can get an oil change there. I got
Sure.
one once myself and I
And
wasn't happy
can you
with it.
not go right across to the same person, Moe's, and have your tires done? If there was a
You know,
need
excuse
for
me.
this business, if there was a need for this business, I would understand it. There's no
I-
need for it. And if there is, we don't need it in that area.
Ma'am,
We live in that subdivision.
Just think about it this way, and I'm just throwing this out from my own personal opinion.
Sure.
I don't think those people would invest that kind of money without some kind of plan and thought that they would make some money doing it.
Well, I think that they're probably going to make money doing it, but at whose expense? My expense in my subdivision? I'm not looking to hurt anybody. I'm just asking that you take in consideration our feelings and that you put it on an appropriate sized lot. You don't need a variance, that you don't need a variance for.
That's not how it works.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking that you shoot them down. I just want it put onto a size of a lot that it should be put on, to where we don't have to worry about if they're gonna have tires on the road, or if they're gonna be parking on Michelle Road, or if they're gonna be lined up. There's no reason. If we need 20 parking spots, why not have 20 parking spots? How many do they have to have? What's the ordinance on how many parking spots they have to have?
Well, I guess they pretty well planned it out.
Well, I'm asking you. You're the one who's supposed to know. How many spots are they supposed to have?
How many what?
How many
Parking?
parking spots are they supposed to have for
Whatever
that?
is necessary for their business.
How many's necessary? How do you
What-
know? How do you know how many's necessary?
Look at the sign, at the
I
description,
don't see any parking spots right there.
right there on the
And
south
how many
side.
are
of the
there?
building.
Count them for me. I
There's a-
can't see from here.
There's 11.
There's 11 parking spots there? And where are they gonna store their tires?
That's,
They've got a
Inside.
spot inside the building. Nothing will be stored outside, nothing.
And I still wish you would
Except
address the
the
safety
dumpster.
hazard that goes with that.
I'm sorry?
The safety concerns that we have on that corner.
Will be less traffic than the party store was,
Yeah.
much less traffic.
oh, yeah, you're gonna have much less traffic than the party store.
There's more
And you're
traffic.
gonna want to have that much less
You're gonna
traffic?
have much less,
Much less customers.
much less, absolutely.
He's got,
I'm just here asking you to consider, I'm asking you here to consider.
well, that's why we're here,
Maybe
to
doing
consider
a
this.
study before you
Yeah.
grant this. Maybe going out and doing, having the area checked for safety. Maybe going out there and, I'm not asking for you to say no right now. I mean, I would like you to say no right now. We really, like I said, don't need that business. But before you say yes, I wish you would put a study out just for the traffic safety, the safety of our kids. And with the high school right there, that's all we're asking.
Do they have a school guard there for that?
No, they do not.
They don't?
They're high school
They
kids.
do. They do it at the other schools.
They don't. They
Well, they
have,
should
they
have
have
one.
those kids crossing at all different times. One of the big
Yeah.
reasons the party store closed right there
Yeah.
is because they had a problem with the kids.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of trouble with the kids running across Wayne Road
Correct.
to McDonald's
Correct.
But that's not
and
their
to the
fault.
other stores and,
Correct. There's a lot of issues going
That's-
there.
But that's not,
excuse me, he's asked, he can,
if you wanna say something, you
come up and speak into the,
In the previous,
gotta speak in there.
yeah.
in the previous time, when the party store was there, all the kids come from school, going to the party store to buy candy and stuff like that. Right now, the kids will never cross the street to go to oil change. So their traffic will be in different areas. That's first of all. Second of all, there is a big light over there in that light on Michelle Drive and Wayne. There is a big light that stops everyone from crossing each ways. And Michelle Drive has two ways in, ways out, and there is something in the middle. So all the corner in there is safe to cross, even if we're closing the entrance from Wayne Road. So there is never traffic is going to be from across street the high school to this building. The only traffic will come from Michelle Drive, and Michelle Drive comes from Wayne Road, and there's a big light to turn left and right in there. I don't know if you know the area.
You will have kids crossing there every day because that's where they cross. And the offset, the way it's set, is this way. So you have the high school here, and then the road over here. So when they cross the street and they walk across, they either walk on an angle or they cross directly to the next sidewalk, which is their business.
Yeah, but
Right, thank you.
And then when you're right at the light, are you only going to allow them right turn only? That's all Taco Bell can do. Taco Bell can only turn right out of Taco Bell. Or so are they gonna be able to turn left as your customers exit, or are you gonna limit them to a right
That'd be
turn
up to the
only?
No,
city.
that's already laid out as far, when their customers get their oil change, they pull out and they can go right onto Wayne Road.
No.
To Michelle.
The
But
way,
you- No, you can't turn right on, I thought that was a right turn out of your parking lot on Wayne Road.
that's it.
Only in?
Yep, the way the circulation and just.
Oh, that's right.
If I may,
Right.
we have reviewed these, like, every department in the city, we've looked over these, we reviewed the plans for circulation, for safety. Engineers, police, building, fire have all looked at this, and we went through a number of reviews on this and different changes that needed to be made for the purposes you're bringing up. Part of that was the enter only on Wayne Road and exit, and then they exit only on the Michelle for the circulation. And the way the building set and the setbacks and the variances that they're here for tonight are, the building was set up, this site was set up exactly the same way with the last business. Actually, the dumpster location is now in a better and safer spot. It used to be over closer to Michelle Drive,
Yeah.
where people might be walking back in this other
Right.
corner, it's in a safer area. And this was looked at many times by us.
And there's no requesting them to buy additional property to make that a little larger. the property.
Available.
I'm really concerned about the size of the property. I'm very concerned about the size of it. I'm concerned about the clutter coming into my neighborhood, and I'm concerned about disposal of things. I'm concerned about all of that.
Come up again.
On the disposable things for the tires and oils, there's special companies that comes pick up the tires, that's first of all. And for the oils, it's gonna be recycled all from professional companies. So we're gonna have a contract with people to come and pick the trash or whatever comes from this business. That's first of all. Second, for the size of the building, if it's, she's saying too small, we're gonna have a 4 bays. 4 bays is more than enough to do like 3-4 businesses in there. All you need is the cars to get in, do the job, leave. So there is no need for extra space in the land or in the building to do this. Plus, if we saw this from the beginning, we're not going to invest this much money for smaller business that it's gonna affect the whole business in there.
All the storage is inside the building, there is no any outside or outdoor storage.
And
That,
after all of that, I do
The
want
oil,
to know.
excuse me, the oil change facility down there, Goddard and Wayne, is very small. They have a single stall. We drive in there,
No, they have 2.
and they use the parking lot for Subway, the Subway lot. It's all a combination parking lot, right?
Yep.
This egress and exit, every which way you can think of there. Go out onto Wayne Road, onto Goddard, from that oil change facility. But
Correct.
it's just a very small place. It's a single, I think it's just a single door.
Drive-through. Yeah, it's drive-through.
2.
Is it two big?
Yeah.
But it's much,
They
about
also
half
don't have the high school
yeah,
across
much
the
smaller.
street from them either.
Yeah. So, but there's a big difference between that oil change facility and the one they propose.
How?
On the way it's scheduled, and it's, if I understand your description, you have to make an appointment?
Yes.
You have to, if you want your oil change, you can't just drive in there and say, change my oil,
When you're done.
right?
Well,
If I understand that right?
That's what it states on the use statement.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have a sign up that says
Appointments only?
A sign?
Well, yeah, if it's appointments only, they're gonna only have appointments.
Now,
only
how
have
is that
appointments for-
handled? If I want to have my oil changed and some tire work done, do I just drive in and say, do it?
I'm here as a concerned citizen, I'm just stating my views.
Okay.
This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, we really don't need to knock out every other business that's been in business here, trying to make it in the city of Romulus by keep putting the same type of businesses within a half a mile of each other. There's just really no call for that. We shouldn't have to give a variance, and we should also consider the high school and the residents that live in that subdivision. Thank you so much.
Come up.
For the concerns of safety and the clean look for the area, it's going to be very nice building, clean from inside outside. We're planning to do some professional services in there. So we don't want it to look like something, it's gonna make the area dirty or make it look inappropriate or anything. We are going to do some nice, clean business. That's why we're investing in the area over there. That's from the beginning. Second of all, in the competition of the business, whoever do better business is going to be there. So we probably need some good and new business in the area to just grant the business. Like the previous people, they built a nice, beautiful gas station down the street, Wick and Vining. It doesn't mean other gas stations shouldn't work. It's going to be like some competition in there. Traffic is gonna be 100% less because if the concerns it's about the high schoolers will never pass by there because they will never have a business in there. For the appointments in the cars, we're going to be like any other business. If we have empty spots in the area and somebody walks in, of course we gotta give them right away appointments if we have nobody in there. But if we're full, we can reschedule them for like a couple hours later until we have a space for it. 11 cars expected after the business study that we did. 11 parking spots, more than enough.
Yeah.
I mean, a good oil change or a good tire place If they receive like 20 to 30 customers a day, that's considered good business. So 20 to 30 customers a day with 10 parking spots during 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 operation, it will be something that's gonna be like almost empty. We're not fixing cars, we're not doing anything. All the service is going to be probably no more than half an hour if it's very long time. It's going to be 10, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes for 30 customers or 50 customers if you got it a day. It will never have heavy traffic in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Frederick?
Just through the chair, a comment on the crosswalk. That's Wayne County. They put that in, not the city. Because Wayne Road is Wayne County's jurisdiction and property and their responsibility. So what's there is Wayne.
But it's our responsibility to keep those kids safe. I understand that was there.
But there's crosswalk signs. The fact that this diagonal has zero bearing on it, it was put in by Wayne County. The same one that puts in everything else they're putting in there, or they have put in there. That's a non-issue. A crosswalk is a crosswalk with a lot of signs. You abide by it or you don't. If you don't, you pay the consequences. And there's no way to regulate that by, like, okay, so close Michelle. Nobody go out that way. That cures that problem, right? No, that's not reasonable to the people who live in that subdivision. It used to be a Jack in the Box when it was built. That was a restaurant. That was high traffic.
High traffic.
Yeah.
And then it became RJ's Party Store, which was, through a series of years and uses, a mess. That's gone. Brand new building coming in with less impact. It's not a party store, it's gonna be oil change. My experience with the one, I go to the Pennzoil on Belleville Road, right there by 94. My experience in there is, there's maybe 2 or 3 cars queued, 2 in the building. They pull out, you pull in. By that time, sometimes there's nobody sitting there. And that's Belleville Road at the service drive in 94. It's,
That's an oil change?
yeah,
And
Pennzoil.
our facility too, that's setting away for tires too?
They don't do tires there.
This is not just oil change, and this is not just oil change.
It's oil change and tire, of course. But the Pennzoil I go to is 2 bays. It's, oil change is oil change, regardless of who the company is. The impact business, you're gonna see less impact there than you do when it's RJ's or even Jack in the Box.
That's right.
That just is, and then if you get up there and look at the correction to the ingress egress out of the building, the one driveway right to as soon as you pull off Michelle and go north, that first driveway is gonna be closed and gone. So you have to go further down to pull in, and that one's been moved further north to come in only. There's no exit there.
Right.
You have to exit onto Michelle, and you pull up to the red light that Wayne County put in to go right or left, the same as anybody coming or going from the subdivision or the Shell station or BP station. I understand your concerns, I truly do. I would love to see it all go back to soybean fields, but that's not gonna happen. And there's people that complained when that subdivision went in, because it was different. It's zoned for it, it's the same square footage, everything's pretty much the same as what's gonna be there, except it's gonna be a brand-new building
Less traffic.
with less traffic. I understand your concerns, I truly do.
I don't believe there's gonna be less traffic. I believe there's gonna be more traffic.
No.
And I think you're gonna find out that you're gonna see more traffic. I think you're gonna find out you're gonna see more debris around from it. And
Well, so
Okay.
So here's what's in the variance judgment. It says, adherence to the conditions of the site plan include no outdoor storage or display of vehicle components, parts, supplies, equipment, or merchandise in business hours of Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., should also be conditions of the BZA approval. That's the hours of operation, and what they are agreeing to, there's nothing gonna be outside. And if there is, pick up the phone and you call the city. The same as Mo's, for instance. I mean, I've seen them park on the grass.
And that's exactly what we're considering. We're talking about the entrance to our subdivision, which we want to keep looking very nice. We live in Romulus, we want Romulus to be nice, we don't want all that parked all over. Look at Mo's, that's
That's-
exactly right, look at Mo's.
That's a good point.
Want
and
that in front of yours?
I'd comment on that a little bit. Would you tell us about what kind of landscaping you're gonna do around the building and clean up I think on your site plan, you got a description in there, I think was in their approval, to do landscaping around the building. You
In
tell us?
front of the building.
Pardon me?
The landscape is gonna be in front of the building.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
So they're gonna, basically, gonna dress it up.
More than it is now.
Oh. I think this file doesn't have the landscape plan.
Okay.
I thought,
There is
I
a
saw a
landscape on-
description in there, that there was gonna be some landscaping.
Yes.
After the building's up, some grass in the front on the Wayne Road
Grass in the
side.
front, some small ornamental trees, I believe two, right? And some more shrubs
And some shrubs, yes.
around the entrance
Yep.
to the building. And also, we have like a 20 feet buffer between, you know, the road entrance
Mhm.
and the building, not between, I mean, in the north of the property. So there's gonna be a few trees in there too.
All right, thank you.
Again, no need for cars to park in there more than half an hour, like they said.
And for the traffic, the grocery store is open until 11 o'clock. So some more stranger people will
Yeah,
come to that area at night, but this will close at 5.
that's right. That's right.
Now, as far as the used tires and the waste oil, is that, you're gonna have a storage place for that? It's not gonna be outside?
Yes, we have 1,000 square, I believe it's less than 1,000 square mezzanine. All the old oil that the company will come, for the recycling is gonna be in tanks
Thanks.
in the buildings. New tires, old tires will be stored inside the building in the mezzanine.
So nothing's gonna be outside there?
No.
All right, thank you.
Again, we are going to make it looking very nice. That's what we're looking for. I mean, we're not saying this just to pass it.
I
We
believe
wanted to build some good business in there. We paid a lot of money for the land. We're paying a lot of money for the building. We want it to look as good as we can. So we're gonna do our max to make that corner looks very nice.
Well, I have relatives that live in that subdivision there, and they use that drive, and I get over there a lot. I would like it to look better than what it does now.
Definitely.
It has been.
That's for sure.
My personal opinion is I don't see any safety issue there. It all depends on the people that drive their cars around it. But as far as your building goes, I can't see any problem with it.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. So, if any other questions or comments from the board?
A few comments, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Lloyd?
So I just wanted to let you know that I absolutely, with the board, we absolutely listen to all your concerns. And, what I do is I sit up here and I write down all the concerns of the constituents and I try to address them. And a lot of my concerns were actually addressed just in the dialogue. I agree with the rest of the board members that this business in this location is actually less risky particularly to the high school kids than the prior business. Particularly when you look at, the entrance and exit on Wayne Road now closing closer to the corner and entrance only from Wayne Road. I think that's a benefit to the crosswalk and to the kids going back and forth to school. The fact that the kids are no longer gonna use this, it's not a convenience store anymore, right? So the kids really have no purpose for using it. So that should reduce their desire to cross for reasons other than going home and coming to school. I then had concerns about just visibility on the corner, but again, the new building is gonna mirror the same footprint and setbacks as the prior building, so that really alleviated my concerns there. I do think traffic will be less frequent because of the differences in the prior business and the current building. And tire disposal and oil, they've already addressed how that will be managed. Another thing I should note is that if you actually read through the discussion from the Planning Commission in December of '22, a lot of your concerns were actually addressed in graphic detail in that meeting as you read through the meeting minutes, which I know is publicly available. So I do encourage, I don't know if you've looked at them, but I do encourage you to look at them because they asked a lot of the same tough questions that you asked right now, and then I had as well, because this is actually my first time hearing about this business, and they were addressed by the planning commission. They did a great job of assessing this. So just wanted to reassure you that all your concerns were shared by this group, and I hope that we've addressed as many of them as we possibly could in the discussion.
May I ask more questions?
Sure.
As much as we build in our communities, no matter if it's Romulus, Wayne, Westland, New Boston, Plymouth, we have great intent that we're gonna succeed as a business when we build. We plan on being the best we are. Let's say 2, 3, 4 years down the road, for some reason, it just didn't make it. And we bring it up, they bring it up for sale or however it goes, and now the next thing that might go in there is a 4-bay garage to do repairs. Unfortunately, they didn't make it, which I hope whoever prospers and when they build something, they succeed in everything they do. The reality is, if you look at the percentages, things don't make it a lifetime. So the setback ordinances and the restrictions will not be good if that ends up being a 4-car garage.
It might be good for this
Correct.
business, but
But
what
that's-
happens down in the future if you change the variance for somebody else who may come in? And it's not anything against anybody else's business. It's just that it's a small lot. It's a small lot.
I'll comment.
We also have to think ahead to a manner of something like this, even though we want everybody in the world to be
So the same
successful
people
in
in
what
the
they
gas
do.
station.
Well, what happens next time? They went from a Jack in the Box to a party store, right? So everything
And we
changes.
know we can't predict the future, but I mean,
To be clear,
I don't know what the point is.
sorry.
No,
To be clear, we will reassess it with every new business that
That's
would come in,
correct.
right? It doesn't carry over business by business.
and that's
So-
all we're asking is that.
You're exactly right. So we looked at this, we looked at their business, and we said, based off the current footprint, this business is not any more risk to the kids. It's actually, again, in my opinion, it's actually less risk.
Less.
But we
There is
reassess,
no risk.
we reassess the entire situation with the next business that will come in.
Well, a comment on top of that through the chair. So I did a little math here. So when it was RJ's, it was 2,277 square foot commercial building, demolished. The new building proposed is 2,633. It's actually 356 square feet smaller than what RJ's was. And it won't be that roof they had on it.
Barn.
That, I don't know what that was.
It was just an open,
It was unbelievable.
it was Jack in the Box, it was just an open.
Yes, and as far as like, so let's say oil change doesn't make it. It becomes, well, you would say a 4-bay garage. Jeff?
What's that? I'm sorry.
So how does the city handle change of business use?
So when a business changes, they have to go through zoning compliance and a reoccupancy. So we basically have to look at, okay, what's the new business coming in? Is it zoned correctly? Is it allowed here? Is it not allowed here? And we go through a rigorous review process of what that business is, and if it's allowed, some get denied because they can't go in a certain area, and then others get approved because they're allowed to go there. And we do look at all the safety concerns. We have reviews done by, like I said, fire, police, DPW, engineers, building. We all look at it together. We meet about it as we have on this project until we get it to a point where everybody's in agreement where this is a safe site and it can operate in a good way.
So if they vote and agree to the variance, is that variance now tied to the property for future use if this does not go through?
No.
So they have to come back
just for now.
and you would have to reevaluate the variance
So the variance doesn't
for
carry
the
over
next.
business to business.
It'd be altogether different, depending on what was going in there.
Like I said, we wish you guys.
Somebody might want to
the
put
variance
5 foot
that I'm worried about now, and then maybe coming in the future if you
Yeah.
guys.
No, no,
Yes, sir, the variance is not
Stop
for
this.
what kind of business. The variance is
For the
The
property.
building,
Yeah.
yeah, so that you don't have to be 40 feet off the road like everybody
Like,
else. We know what the variance is.
that's
Well, that's part of the concern. If for some reason they don't make it and a new business comes in, is that variance now tied to the C1 that's on that property? Or does it have to be reevaluated each time a new business comes in?
So when a new business comes in, it would have to be reevaluated, because depending on what the business is, it depends on how much traffic it's bringing in, what kind of circulation it needs. Like, so it'll be really reevaluated with if a new business was to come in 5 years from now, they sold it and it's a completely different new business, it would all have to get reevaluated.
As far as the variance goes, if that setback is approved, that's locked in there. It stays with that building.
With the, now, well, like I said, with the business, now, it depends what the business comes in at. If
No, I mean, I'm talking about the setback of
the setback, yeah, the building will be built in that area.
Yeah.
So the only business, if that was to sell, that was to be, would be able to even come in there, would be something that could circulate on that site the way it sits. Or if a business came in and they wanted to do something completely different, then they would have to redevelop and redesign the whole entire site. So yes, the building will be set where it sits.
There won't be no more variances
No.
for setback. That's done. It would be. Okay, now, thank you.
Okay.
Clearing that up.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the audience or the board members? If not, I think a motion on this petition is in order. Anybody care to make a motion?
You gonna do this?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Motion to approve BZA 2024-001 Romulus oil change to reduce the required front yard building setback from 40 feet to 25.5 feet, and to allow encroachment of the parking lot and dumpster into the 20-foot required rear yard setback adjacent to residential, under the condition or recommendation that the approval should also be subject to all performance standards, including noise, light, vibration, etc.
Support.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Lloyd, supported by Mr. Morris, to approve the request by Romulus Wayne Oil Change, BZA -2024-001. And the location is at 9899 Wayne Road. And this motion is supported by Mr. Morris, I believe it was.
Yes. Motion by Lloyd.
Motion by Lloyd, supported by Mr. Morris, to approve that request. Take a roll call vote. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Your various request has been approved for those setbacks. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is city planner status report. Got yours.
I got that, well, I have this, that you guys have any questions about the upcoming? I know I did want to let you guys know that we have a pre-construction meeting with Sheets on the 15th of February, the variance that was in here now, and they're looking to break ground in February over on that site, so.
You're having February 15th?
Is a pre-construction meeting we have at our department.
Oh, I see.
Before the development starts, we meet with the contractors, meet with the property owners and the business, and then with all of our departments to discuss
Oh, okay.
what's required and everything.
I'll be in the Henry Ford Hospital on that day.
Well, I hope that goes well for you.
Hang in there.
Yeah. We got your status report here too. It looks like it's growing.
It's growing by the day. If you guys have any questions on any of these, I'd be happy to answer them.
Everything looks good. Looking forward to that sheets.
So the pilot travel center on Vining and Goddard, where's
Yes.
that at?
What's that?
Where they at? With their,
Oh, we just got a site plan submission, I think it just hit my desk yesterday. So I don't know exactly when they're gonna be, we haven't even reviewed it yet, we're just starting the review process for it. And I know they're looking to try to come to planning commission, I wanna say March, but I'm not 100% on that. It's just, but we haven't really even gotten an opportunity to, like, I literally just got the plans yesterday. We all did, so we've just beginning looking through them.
gotcha, thank you.
Yep.
Well, if there's no other questions or comments or communications, any more discussion? If not, item 9 is adjournment.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Lloyd, to adjourn this meeting. We take a roll call vote. Mr. Frederick?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. This meeting is adjourned.